Hello chemistry students. This video is just a really quick introduction to a couple notes that you need to take before doing your research on the history of the atom. So let's get started. Maybe. There we go. So the first law we need to know is the law of conservation of mass, and you should have already learned this in our conservation of mass lab that we did in our first unit. And it strictly states that mass is not created or destroyed. Our next law we're going to be looking at is the law of definite proportions, which states that a given compound always contains exactly the same proportion of elements by mass, which this basically is meaning that if you have a compound of H2O, there's always the same proportion of hydrogen to oxygen no matter how large the H2O molecule is or how many of them you have. And then lastly, the law of multiple proportions gets a little wordy. So the exact definition is when two elements form a series of compounds, the ratios of the masses of the second element that combine with 1 gram of the first can always be reduced to a small whole number. That is very confusing. So we're giving you an example to explain that. So consider you have two carbon oxides, CO and CO2. 100 grams of carbon may react with 133 grams of oxygen to produce carbon monoxide, which is CO, or with 267 grams of oxygen to produce carbon dioxide. So here we're doubling that, basically. The ratio of the masses of oxygen that can react with 100 grams of carbon is 266 to 133, which is 2 to 1. Okay. So basically, if we add more carbon, more O2 is going to react with it. So they're always going to react in the same amounts. So even if we have different amounts of elements or different amounts of one element versus the other, they're only going to react as much as they possibly can, which can always be reduced to a small whole number. If you need more help on that, watch the supplemental video below and then work on your assignment for today. Thank you.